calculation, you will get 2. The gain will be 2, that is 1.99 in exact, and ideal value will be 2. So you should get a gain of 2. So that's why I've deducted marks. And coming to the third B question, that is R to R. The question is like this: explain the R to R operation, and then you need to calculate for two sequence, digital sequence. So most of you have written for two sequence directly, but you have not written the R to R circuit and the formula not written. Let us explain the operation of R to R ladder 4-bit. Many of them are not written. Directly you have calculated and you got a value minus 7.5 and minus 1.875. So those who are not written R to R circuit and explanation, I have deducted 3 marks, and for the calculation I have given 4 marks. So this is clear. This is about IA. So I don't know what happened and how you felt during the test time. Uh, the paper was very simple. I hope you got confused with the circuit. And coming to the instrumentation amplifier, you have to know that it is a voltage follower circuit in the first part. So many of you are given a feedback negative. Negative input is given as a feedback, and the polarity is very important in operational amplifier. If you are not specifying positive negative, simply connecting, no use. Now only I am telling, in the examination, if you write however you written in your test, you won't get a full marks or you won't get a marks at all. Circuit only gone wrong means however your explanation, sometimes the few evaluators, they won't consider your answer. Keep in mind, this is an analog circuit. Circuits are more important and design is more important. Explanation you can write in your own words based on the components. Be clear it with. So you have to practice the circuit and you have to practice the design. And I don't know if you are answering or not. Next class I'll be giving a chance to you. Next class I told you to prepare by Tuesday. Next class onwards I'll call you the names, random names. You have to write in front of me any circuit of module 5 and you need to explain it. You have to write, you have to switch on your video and you have to write in front of me the circuit and the design. So be before, prepare. You have one more day with you. So if you are not turning on your video and if you are not answering, so I'll be removing the next class. I won't allow you to attend my classes in the future. So you can complain to anyone. I don't have any issues. I'm telling on open. I want everyone should be attentive and you should be learn. I don't want to, for the exam, you should not face any issues with you. If you have any problem, you can ask me. You are not understanding, ma'am, explain me again. I'll do it. I don't have any issues to explain any times, any number of times you want. Here it is, I am not worried about completing syllabus. I already completed 2 modules. Need not to worry about the syllabus. I want how many modules you have learned. That should be pakka with that. So here only the thing is you need to practice the circuit and you need to practice the design. That's it. So however you cooperated for the DSD, same cooperation I required for the analog circuits. Even I got good results. Among ABC, A is a good result in a DSD result. So that's why I'm very happy. Again, I am thankful to all of you. But I want the same cooperation for this subject also. I don't want to anyone should be failed in this. That will be a credit for me also, and it will be good for you also. So just cooperate with me. Don't tell me I got network issue or couldn't able to unmute. I don't want to listen anything. However, how much you know, you should write in front of me by turning on your video. So tomorrow onwards, get ready all of you. I can call the names randomly. I don't know, 5 to 6 I can call you after the topic, each topic completed. I'll call you only module 5 I'll be asking this week. Next week I'll come back to module 4. So you have to prepare this week module 5, get ready. So we have tutorial class also. In tutorial class is only like this only I'll do. And the normal classes I'll continue with the syllabus. So you need not to doubt about the syllabus. I'll be continuing the syllabus. And I want all of you to be learn hand in hand. That's it. You need not to postpone it. You have to study well and you should be confident how much we have completed so far. You should be thorough enough with the circuits. And first of all, OPAM, be clear with the positive and negative. Always understand the concept. Then you learn. Don't mug up simply. then it will be confusion. So positive or negative, it will be leads to confusion. You should not have 3. Okay. So today itself you have 1 day, whole day. You practice the circuits of module 5 and the design should be ready. Obviously, explanation will be come to you, no problem. Only the circuit you should know. And regarding module 5 revision, I'll take up this week itself in the tutorial itself. So now we'll move on to the module 1. If the time permits, I'll revise module 5 again from my side. So now we'll start with the module 1. So module 1 is your biasing in BJT and MOSFET and small signal operation and models. Okay. So I hope slide is visible. Is the slide is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the module 1 is about biasing in BJT and MOS amplifier circuits, and also you're going to study with a small signal operation and modeling. I don't know how much you have studied in your basic electronics. I hope you have studied about introduction to BJT and MOSFET. So here you're going to study the mainly the biasing, how we are going to bias BJT and MOS amplifier circuits. What are the techniques you're going to use for biasing? So not all the techniques specified here, only few techniques you're going to study, the most popularly used techniques for biasing. So before going to study in detail with biasing in BJT and mass amplifier circuits, let me go through with the few basics of BJT and mass amplifier circuits with one by one. So this is a syllabus of the first module. So mainly you're going to deal with two devices. So BJT and MOSFET. How biasing is done for BJT. So there are the two techniques they are specified here: voltage divider bias and collector to base feedback resistor. And then respective small signal operation of BJT. How we are going to analyze the small signal, uh, how to amplify the small signal, how the circuit will works, and what are the models like pi model, hybrid model. So that is the collector current transconductance, how it is going to be changes when you're handling a small signal. What will be the base current, input resistance, emitter current and input resistance, voltage gain, and how to separate the signal and the DC quantities. The signal will be AC quantity and you require a DC voltage for biasing. So here you need to separate the two signals, AC as well as DC, and we're going to study with hybrid pi model. This is about BJT. Similarly, you're going to study with the MOSFET. So how to bias a mass amplifier circuits. These are the techniques: fixing VGS, fixing VG, drain to gate feedback resistor. There are three techniques specified here. And small signal operation and modeling, same thing you are going to study here. DC bias point, signal current in drain, voltage gain, small signal equivalent circuit models, transconductance. So here this is about the syllabus of module 1, and you need to refer as textbook 1, that is Cedra Smith textbook you are supposed to study, and for module 4 and 5 it is text 2, that is Gayakwad. So this is about text 1, you are supposed to refer for this. Here it's very clear the concepts. You need to practice the circuit and the design is more. You have to look out for the design more here. You need to apply KCL or KVL, Thevenin's equivalence, that's it. So these are the things you should know to study this. You should know what is exactly the BJT symbol and how the BJT works. Similarly in the MOSFET, so what are the terminals of MOSFET? Like that you have to keep in mind. So here BJT and MOSFET are FETs. I can say you have JFET also, but it is not in your syllabus. BJT and FETs are used as a switch as well as an amplification purpose. So here what you have to do is, before going to use as an amplifier, how can you say it is a good amplifier? Anyone? When you can say it is amplified properly? Yes. Amplification ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
Output is greater than the input, ma'am.
Yes, output is greater than output power is greater than the input power. I can say it is amplified properly. You can observe in the slide. What are the components you are observing here? Yes. What are the components you can able to recognize? Resistor, good.
Capacitor.
Yes. Capacitor. That's
A
it.
transistor.
Yes, a transistor. Only three
And a
transistors.
Speaker.
Speaker. Perfect. Next. That's it.
Is that 5-volt battery? What is
Yes.
that mean?
Yes, it is battery. 5-volt
Okay.
battery it is. Yeah. So it is just to amplify our voice. Maybe it is like a speaker, how it is going to amplify the output going to be produced in the speaker. So here it is just like a mic. You need to going to give connection to the mic. So here you are using capacitor, transistor, resistor and a battery of 5 volts. You require a DC voltage to amplify, and transistor is a main heart of the circuit. It is going to amplify the signal. Amplification, as one of your friends said, it is output power is greater than the input power. We can say it is amplified properly. So for that amplification, you require a DC voltage 5 volts that will be produced in the speaker. So if we are speaking about speaking, so that has to be amplified and it should be listened or it should be audible to all. So that is amplification, I can say, in the voice. So if I talk about in the signal, the strength of the signal has to be increased. Then only I can say it has amplified. For example, if I give a 1 millivolt signal, a sinusoidal signal, the transistor has to be amplified into a more than 1 millivolt. It's a like 5 volts. It is a good amplified strength. The strength has increased. Amplifier means you're increasing the strength of a signal. So like that I can say. So this is a simple circuit of an amplifier. You can use any transistor. I need not to worry about a BJT or MOSFET. Again, the few parameters has to be taken care while choosing a BJT or MOSFET. So always we'll prefer MOSFET than BJT due to power consumption. So we're preferring FETs. So now we'll move on to the basics of BJT and MOSFET. So this is about module 1. So you can observe in the top right, you have a bipolar junction transistor, that is BJT. So there are two types of BJTs you can observe here, PNP and NPN. What is this direction of arrow indicates? Both in MOSFET as well as in BJT. What is the direction of an arrow? Arrow indicates. Why you need to specify the arrow?
The flow of volts, ma'am.
The flow of?
Volts, ma'am.
We can't say always volts because PNP is majority carriers volts, whereas NPN majority carriers are electrons. I can say general, it is a direction of current flow. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, direction of arrow indicates the flow of current. So here PNP holes are majority carriers, whereas in NPN electrons are majority carriers. Okay, it is a 3-terminal device. The terminals are base, collector and emitter. Whereas in NPN also same thing, base, collector, emitter. Here the direction of arrow is different. Okay, so this is about the bipolar junction transistor. Then coming to the MOSFET, field effect transistor or MOS metal oxide semiconductor, field effect transistors. So these are again the semiconductor device. It is used for amplification as well as switching purpose. Okay, so you can observe here, coming to the MOSFET, here so far you have come across with the three terminals, gate, drain, source. Okay, so now onwards you will going to study one more terminal is body. Body or substrate is a fourth terminal you can observe here. So this is a structure of an field effect transistor, that is metal oxide semiconductor. You have a metal, there is oxide layer, then a semiconductor. So here we are not studying working of it. So module 1 is only going to study with a biasing. So this is these things operation, the region of operation and the characteristics you are already studied in basic electronics. So those things are required here for the further continuation of biasing circuit. So here in MOSFETs, you have a N-channel MOSFET and P-channel MOSFET. So here sometimes channel is formed internally and sometimes the channel has to be induced externally by applying a voltage. The channel is formed below the gate region. Here you can observe the structure. So here again I can say the MOSFETs are classified into two types. Anybody? Enhancement and
Depletion, ma'am.
depletion type MOSFETs. Okay. So in enhancement, in which the channel is formed, or forcefully channel is going to be formed in depletion or enhancement. Okay, uh, we'll study. I'll tell you in the MOSFET. So first we'll go on to BJT. So this is structure of BJT, that is NPN. So N type, it is going to form emitter, base and the collector region. So in NPN, electrons are the majority carriers and holes are the minority carriers. The drawback of BJT, the bipolar junction transistor, is, so here it is, the continuous base current should be provided in order to turn on a transistor. So that is a drawback. And coming to the PNP, holes are majority carriers and electrons are minority carriers. So you can observe PN junction is going to form a diode form. So you can observe the diodes are connected in such a way that in PNP and NPN form. And this is a symbol of NPN. You can observe the arrow is downward means it is NPN transistor. If the arrow is inside, so you can say it is PNP transistor. So you can visit to this link to know the more about this. You already studied in your basic electronics the operation of bipolar junction transistor. And coming to the modes of operation, that is you have studied the different configuration of transistor operation, that is common base, CB, CC, CE. Common base means you are going to make a base as a common, that is common grounded. Input is given to the emitter and output is taken at the collector. Okay, common base means the base will be grounded. Input is given to the emitter and output is taken at the collector. So output current is collector current IC, input current is IE. That is the current gain alpha. Alpha is output current by input current. Output current is a collector current, input current is a emitter current because base will be grounded. So next coming to the common collector configuration. So collector terminal will be grounded. Input is given to the base, output is taken at the emitter. So you'll get a gamma, the current factor or a current gain can be written as gamma. It is IE by IB. So IE is the output current, that is we're going to measure output at the emitter and input at the measurement at the base. So IE by IB. So coming to the common emitter configuration or CE configuration, emitter terminal will be grounded. Applying input to the base and output is taken at the collector. So beta is equal to IC by IB. So IC, always the current gain will be output by input. So remember these two relations will be useful in the whole module. Alpha is equal to IC by IE, beta is IC by IB. Okay, and also most of the times we'll be preferring common emitter configuration for amplification purpose. So common emitter is the most frequently used configuration for an amplifier. Is this clear with the configuration or modes of operation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, common base, common collector, common emitter, and remember alpha beta relation. Alpha is IC plus IE and beta is IC plus IB. And as all of you know that, what is the relation between IC, IB, IE? IE is equal to what?
IC plus IB.
Yes, IE is equal to, and also you should know this relation also. IE is equal to sum of the current IC plus IB. This relation also should be know, and alpha beta. Next, coming to the region of operation. So a transistor operated in three regions: cutoff, saturation, active or linear region. So here if you want to make a transistor to be as used as an amplifier, we can prefer it as in the saturation region. So, and also you should know the junction always. So the emitter based junction should be forward biased and collector based junction should be reverse biased for active region. So cutoff means EB and CB, that is emitter based junction, collector based junction is reverse biased. So when it is reverse biased, you can observe the two diodes are connected back to back. So there is no current flows. So you can say it is in the terms of cutoff. Similarly, saturation region, both the junctions are forward biased. You can say it is saturation. So cutoff and saturations are used for switch application, on and off. It's look like a cutoff will be off, saturation will be like on. So we'll be using these two regions for switching application. Whereas an active or linear region, you can observe in the diagram, active and linear region is used for this region. So this region is used for amplification. So here EB is forward biased, emitter based junction is forward biased, collector based junction is reverse biased. So this is used for amplification. So amplification, if you want to have a proper amplification, you should have a Q point. So the Q point or quiescent point is going to tells you the proper operation of a circuit. So it has to be at the midpoint or a mid value. It should be in the middle of the region to have a proper amplification or to have a proper stability, and should not exceed this point, should not be above or below. So if it is above or below, the clipping of the signal will be taken place. So you have to choose a proper Q point. The Q point means it is going to gives you the predictable IC and VCE value. So I hope you all know that when the manufacturing of a transistor will be feeding in a bulk. We are not designing or manufacturing a single transistor. So those transistors are very sensitive to temperature. So whatever the changes happen in the temperature, that will affect on the parameters of a transistor. So it may affect IC and VC variation will be there. So that variation should affect on the device. Sometimes the device may burnt off. So here, just before going to tell you exactly the biasing, you should know mainly the biasing is required in an amplification purpose. So if you want to amplify in any transistor, either in a BJT or a MOSFET, you should know biasing is essential step. Without biasing, you can't say you're going to use it as a amplifier. Biasing, why you require biasing is, before going to study that biasing, we'll see what is an amplification, what is an amplifier. In order to explain that, here the circuit we are consider is, can you tell me, is it a common emitter or a common base, common collector configuration? Is it what type of
Common
configuration it
emitter,
is?
ma'am.
It is common emitter. So emitter is grounded here, giving input to the base, taking output from the collector. So here we are giving a signal to the base IB. So we are given a signal here. So observe here, the output power should be greater than the input signal. So then only we can say it is amplified properly. So in order to do this amplification, I need to set my parameters of the transistor should be fixed. It should not be vary with respect to temperature. The main important thing is I need to choose or I need to find out the predictable value. It should not affect with the temperature, either beta or it may be IC and VCE, because IC is the output current and IB is the input current. And this is the characteristics, and I have to know that the quiescent point or operating point has to be always the center of the characteristic curve. This is the output current versus output voltage, because emitter will be grounded, output voltage will be VCE, output current will be IC, and this is IB fixed. For different intervals of IB, we have got these characteristics. There are three regions: cutoff, active, saturation region. So this is an active region. So we need to set a load line here. The load line points are IC and VCE. So by choosing these things, you can decide how it is going to be make the amplification should happen properly. So in order to have an biasing, we require a DC voltage that is used to bias the transistor. So biasing is known as a DC biasing of the transistor. So DC is required for biasing. So here the transistor biasing. So I'm telling it is general transistor biasing. So you have to providing a DC voltage which helps in the functioning of the circuit. So DC voltage is must in biasing. And here it is transistor is based on, in order to make emitter based junction forward biased and collector based junction should be reverse biased, because I need to use the active region in a amplifier. So active region is meant for amplification, cutoff and saturation is for switching application. So that's why EB junction should be forward biased, CB junction should be reverse biased in active region, because I'll be worried about amplification. Whenever I am using switch, I need to make it use of cutoff region and saturation region. So what is the need for DC biasing? So for example, if you have a signal of very small voltage as given to the input of a BJT, it cannot be amplified. So small signal in the sense, you should imagine a signal of a very small signal, it is of millivolts, that is to be given to the base of a BJT. So because for BJT to amplify a signal, the two conditions has to be met. So what are the two conditions to be met? So that is, input voltage should exceed cut-in voltage for the transistor to be on. So cut-in voltage, if it is at silicon, or I can say it is 0.7. The second condition is the BJT should be in the active region to be operated as an amplifier. These are the two conditions has to be met when you want to use as a transistor as an amplifier. It should exceed cut-in voltage, like it should be greater than 0.7, and also it should be in the active region to be operated as an amplifier. And what are the factors going to affecting the operating point? I told you that quiescent point or operating point and the characteristics that is going to gives you the value of a predictable value, IC and VCE, or boundary. I can say it is going to gives you the value or a boundary condition. The transistor should be safe region of operation, I can say. The main factor that affect the operating point in the is temperature. As I told you, temperature. The operating point shifts due to change in the temperature. So operating point, I told you, it should be in the mid of your characteristic, right? So that will be changing due to the variation in the temperature. As the temperature increases, the value of ICE, beta, VBE gets affected. So ICE, beta, VBE gets affected, and what will happen? There is a leakage current will be get doubled. Due to minority charge carriers, you will be having some leakage current. I can say the leakage current will be ICVO. That's going to be gets doubled. So 0.3 is a millivolts. We can say it is going to be doubled. That is 0.3 milliamps. It will become 0.6. So for every 1 degree, 10 degree rise in temperature, Similarly, VBE going to be decreases by 2.5 millivolts for every 1 degree rise in temperature. So temperature plays a major role here. It is going to changes the transistor parameters. VBE decreases means the transistor should not be in a condition to turn on, because VBE is how to make a transistor should be on. It should exceed the cut-in value. Cut-in value is 0.7. If it is decreasing means, so you can't say the transistor is going to be on or it is in a working condition. So the main problem which affects the operating point is temperature. Hence, the operating point should be made independent of temperature. That's it. So our intention is to make independent of temperature in order to achieve stability. Again, the question will arise, what is stabilization? How to make a stable operating point? So here there is a process of making the operating point independent of temperature changes or variation in the transistor parameters is known as stabilization. So you are making your operating point should be independent. It should not dependent on the temperature. So then only I can say it is a stabilized, or I can say stabilization. Once the stabilization is achieved, the value of IC and VCA becomes independent of temperature variations, or we can say suddenly if you change the transistor, the replacement of transistors. A good biasing circuit going to be helps in the stabilization of operating point. So now I hope you're clear with this. You require a biasing circuit that make you to help in stability of the operating point. I hope is it clear now so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You have to keep in mind that your operating point Q point should be independent of temperature variation, and that is going to be done by using a biasing circuit. That's it. We should draw a load line. IC and VCE should be predictable and should be independent of temperature. That's it. Our intention is to make independent of temperature. Next, coming to the biasing of BJT. What exactly this biasing? How the circuit going to be stable? So biasing is like you're going to establishing. It is an essential step in all the amplifier circuits, and you should be predetermined voltages and currents at various points in an electronic circuit for operating at proper conditions in an electronic component. Let me repeat, biasing is establishing a predetermined voltage and currents. That is voltage, I can say, for example, VCE. This predetermined, that is based on the supply voltage VCC, everything VBE value. We are going to determine the boundary. The voltage has to be within this, the current has to be within this limit. So then only it will going to be operate in a safe region or stability. So predetermined, we are going to determine advance the circuit has to be operate in these limits at various points in an electronic circuit for operating at a proper conditions in an electronic component. So what exactly this biasing will do is, it is going to establish a DC current in the collector. So that is IC. So throughout in biasing, whatever we are going to study is by keeping in mind common emitter configuration. Be clear with that. That's why IC is the output current. So DC current in the collector. We're going to establish a constant DC current. Our aim is to have a constant IC and VC. IC and VC has to be constant. And whatever the current we have calculated, the current has to be calculatable, should be predictable, insensitive to the variations of temperature. So you're making it independent of temperature, insensitive. You're making it as a not sensitive to temperature, it is insensitive to the variations in the temperature, and beta of a BJT. So beta is, what is beta relation? What current by what current it is?
IC by IB, ma'am.
IC by IB, because it is common emitter configuration. Alpha is IC by IE, beta is IC by IB. So you are fixing IC constant. IC constant ಆದರೆ beta no constant ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, because beta is directly proportional to IC. So in such a way this we can give a predictable values. So, and one more advantage is if you done a proper biasing, it makes you the maximum output voltage swing. So this way you're going to achieve the proper amplification. Here we are going to use two types of biasing. The most popularly used biasing techniques are voltage divider bias, collector to base bias. So here we have many more techniques: base resistor method, collector to base bias, biasing with collector feedback resistor, voltage divider bias. So among four, the two prescribed in your syllabus are CB, collector to base bias, voltage divider bias. So these are the two biasing techniques we are going to study in this module. Yes, actual syllabus start from here. So the first thing is you're going to have a voltage divider bias here. So you can observe it is a common emitter configuration. Just observe the transistor. Analyze the circuit carefully. It is a common emitter configuration. I mean to say emitter is grounded, applying input to the base, taking output from the collector, giving a collector voltage VCC, and this is a resistor, collector resistor. A base resistor is divided RB1 and RB2 because it is a divider, voltage divider resistor. So here we are going to fixing VBE. What will happen if you fix VBE? How the variation, what will happen to the circuit? So here, if you fix a VBE, the VBE is, even though VBE is fixed, you can't have the variation, you can't avoid the variation. So this circuit is very sensitive to the temperature. So you're going to have not getting any stable output. So that's why fixing VB is not a valid for biasing. So here it is common, most commonly used biasing in a discrete circuit transistor amplifier. So here there is a variation in IC and VCE. So here it is preferred. Okay, this VB is fixed. Even though VB is fixed, you can't have a proper biasing here. You should be affecting the IC and VCE due to temperature variation. That's why you are not preferring this. Next, base resistor method. So here you are fixing IB. Previously we have fixed VBE. Now we are fixing IB. IB is fixed, but result in a variation of IC and VCE. ನನಗೆ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಐ ಸಿ ವಿ ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಬಿನೂ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ರು ಐ ಸಿ ವಿ ಸಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. So here this circuit will be preferred whenever we are having a single power supply. So single power supply is VCC. So whereas voltage divider is going to be used when you are having a dual power supply or two power supply is used. This is base resistor method. So here in the base resistor method you can observe this things is going to be replaced with a Thevenin's equivalent resistor. So here this is an RB resistor. So what is RB now? So to find Thevenin's, so you'll get an RB Thevenin's equivalent circuit resistor will be R1 parallel R2. So this is the circuit we have, it is equivalent circuit. This is a voltage divider circuit. That voltage divider circuit you are making here as a base resistor method. So here it is, if you apply a voltage divider rule, so if you find out a voltage here VBB, so what is VBB now? Apply voltage divider circuit analysis. What is the expression you will get? Just apply voltage divider rule. Afreen. Yes, anyone? Just a voltage divider circuit you have. How to apply voltage divider rule? What is the supply voltage you're giving here? And this node you have to find out.
VCC.
VCC is the supply voltage. Very good. So what are the resistors you have here? R1, R2. So what you have to do is we need to have VCC into R2 divided by sum of the resistance. VBB is equal to VCC into R2 by R1 plus R2. So this is the voltage at the center, VBB. So how the circuit is made as this? Is this clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope there is no doubt with this. These two circuits are equivalent. So we have applied here a Thevenin's. RB is equal to R1 parallel R2, and this node voltage is VBB. VBB is equal to VCC into R2 by R1 plus R2. So now this is the first equation by applying a voltage divider rule. VBB is equal to supply voltage into the resistor towards ground, VCC into R2 by sum of the resistance R1 plus R2. Next, you know that RB is a Thevenin's equivalent resistor for R1 parallel R2, R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. We call this equation as equation 2. Next, as you all know that IE is equal to IC plus IB. What is IC from beta? So as you all know that beta is IC by
IB.
IC by IB. What is IC from this? Beta times
IB.
beta times IB. So that is IC can be replaced as beta times IB plus IB. So if you take an IB as common, 1 plus beta into IB. What is IE now? IE is equal to 1 plus beta into IB. Any doubt on this relation?
No, ma'am.
As you all know that emitter current is equal to sum of collector current and base current, that is IC plus IB, and IE is equal to IC is beta times IB from this relation, and IB if you take in common 1 plus beta into IB. So from this what is IB? From this IB is equal to IE by 1 plus beta. Yes, are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next just apply a KVL to the outer loop, that is outer loop in the sense base side. So just apply KVL to this loop. What you are going to get? KVL if you apply to this outer loop, VBB minus voltage across resistor RB, IB into RB, positive to negative, minus VBE minus voltage through the resistor RE, IE into RE. Let me repeat again. Just apply a KVL to this outer loop towards a base. So you have a VBB minus IBRB minus VBE minus IERE. So as you all know that IE is equal to, in the previous equation we got IE is equal to 1 plus beta into IB, or IB is IE by 1 plus beta. From this expression, VBB minus VBE is equal to IBRB plus IERE. So here you are going to substitute the value of IB. IB is IE by 1 plus beta plus IERE. So if you take IE common, RB by beta plus 1 plus RE. So from this what is IE? From whole thing, IE will be VBB minus VBE by RE plus RB by 1 plus beta. Any doubt in this expression? Just go through it and tell me if you have any doubt. Just I applied a KVL to the base loop. Yes. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Just IB value substitute ಮಾಡಿ IE common ತೆಗೆದು IE value found out ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. IE is VBB minus VBE by RE plus RBE by 1 plus beta. Is this clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, Try to answer these questions, keeping in mind today's session. So which of the following is the correct relationship between the base and the emitter current of a BJT?
D, ma'am.
Yes, any other answers? Yes, any other answers? Pranav? Ananya?
C, ma'am.
Option C.
D, ma'am.
D. Pranav? Option D?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So IE is equal to 1 plus beta into IB. Okay, next question. For the best operation of BJT, which region must be operating point be set at?
Active region.
Yes, active region. The transistor biasing represents dash conditions. Arpita,
Yes, ma'am.
what is your answer? What condition should be taken care, AC or DC, or both AC and DC? What condition should be taken? Yes,
Ma'am, DC, ma'am.
yes, Arpita, what is your answer?
DC, ma'am.
So you have to consider DC conditions. Okay, if biasing is not done in an amplifier circuit, it results in a, what will happen if biasing is not done? What will happen? It is going to decrease base current, unfaithful amplification, excessive collector bias, none of the above.
Unfaithful amplification, ma'am.
Yes, perfect, Ananya. Unfaithful amplification. So amplification should not be proper if you are not doing proper biasing. Okay, transistor biasing is generally provided by, what is the circuit you are going to use for biasing? Battery, diode, biasing circuit, none of the above.
Biasing circuit.
Yes, repeat. Yeah,
It's biasing circuit, ma'am.
biasing circuit, option A. Okay, sixth question. For faithful amplification by a transistor circuit, the value of VBE should be dash for silicon transistor.
Not fall below 0.7 ohms.
Not fall below 0.7 volts. Yes. So that is for silicon, it should be 0.7. Germanium, it is 0.6. Okay, next question. For proper operation of transistor, collector should have
Reverse bias, proper reverse bias.
collector emitter based junction should be forward biased, collector based junction should be reverse biased. So uh, you can set as second option, proper reverse bias. The point of intersection of DC and AC load lines represent
Operating point.
operating point or Q point. I can say quiescent point or operating point. Option A is correct. The disadvantage of base resistor method of a transistor biasing is that it is complicated, is sensitive to changes in beta, provides high stability, none of the above. So base resistor method means what? We are fixing IB. So that is not a best method because it will cause the variation in IC and VCE. Okay, what is the answer now?
Option B.
Option B, it is sensitive to changes in beta. Yes, the last question. The disadvantage of voltage divider bias is that it has high stability factor, low base current, many resistors, none of the above. What is the drawback of voltage divider bias? I didn't tell you. Any guesses? Which are the most components you can observe in the voltage divider?
Resistors, ma'am.
Yes, it consists of many resistors. So that is a drawback. Okay, note down this, take a snapshot of it, calculate the resistance value and get ready with the next class. A silicon transistor is biased with a base resistor method. If beta is 100, VB is 0.7, zero signal collector current IC 1 milliamps, VCC 6 volts. What is the value of base resistor RB? Yes. All of you taken the snapshot of it?